Hey, it's Quadix here. This story is about how Jiraiya and Tsunade adopt Naruto. Now, Jiraiya and Tsunade are gonna have their own kid, but Naruto is gonna be what brings them together. They're gonna dislike each other for like the first two paragraphs, and then they have to deal with each other to take care of Naruto, because Hiruzen wouldn't let a single one of them adopt Naruto. And this brings them closer, and they will eventually get married. And I think it's a very interesting, and I hope you enjoy. Follow me on Instagram, like and comment Q or any other comments you may have if you want this series to continue. And roll the intro. Chapter 1. An Unconventional Family. Jiraiya stood in front of the gates of Konoha, contemplating the place that had been his home for such a long time. That's it, until Orochimaru's betrayal and Tsunade's self-imposed exile made it unbearable for the Toad-Sage to continue living there. He never had a permanent home from that moment onward, hopping from one town to another, doing his research, and having one-night stands with beautiful and easy-to-charm women. He only returned sporadically to pay a visit to his student and friend Minato Namikaze. It has been 3 months since the latest, and now last, of those visits. They talked about Jiraiya's failed book, The Tale of the Gutsy Ninja, and how Minato wanted to name his firstborn son after the main character of said book, Naruto. In the meantime, Jiraiya wrote his first erotic novel, Icha Icha Paradise, which became a bestseller in no time, engorging his already large bank account. He had been planning to drop by once the kid was born in order to give the newborn some nice gifts. In fact, he was on his way to Konoha when a carrier ninja arrived and told him about the tragic news, and that his presence was required in the village. Upon reading the letter with all the details, at first he thought it was some sort of tasteless joke, but the letter he was carrying had the stamp of the Hokage's office. And now, just as he stood in front of the gates, he realized it wasn't a joke, as he had secretly hoped. Even from the outside, Jiraiya could tell that Konoha had been a victim of a devastating attack recently, which has confirmed the amount the Toad-Sage walked into the village. The streets were nearly empty, destroyed buildings left and right, trails of smoke coming everywhere. The gray sky appeared to reflect the somber and depressing mood the village seemed to be in. Jiraiya hurried towards the Hokage's office. Hiruzen Sarutobi was in his former, soon-to-be his once-again, office as he absent-mindedly looked through the window, lamenting the current state Konoha was in. An Anbu appeared behind him. "Hokage-sama, Jiraiya-sama is here as you requested," the Anbu announced. The third turned around and sighed. "Tell him to come in, please." "As you say," the Anbu said, before disappearing into a cloud of smoke. A few seconds later, the white-haired Sanin walked into the office. Hiruzen couldn't help but a small smile as soon as seeing his old students. "Hello, Jiraiya. It's good to see you again, even if it's under such awful circumstances. How was your trip here?" Hiruzen said as he sat down on his chair. "Not to be rude, but the matter is very low now. Is that true, Sensei? Are Minato and Kushina truly dead?" Jiraiya asked, trying to suppress the anguish of his voice. "Yes." Jiraiya averted Sarutobi's gaze, sighed, and whispered a profanity. He looked at his former sensei once again and asked, "May I see the bodies?" "I'm afraid that's not possible, Jiraiya." "And why not? Can't I even say goodbye to my last surviving student?" Jiraiya exploded as he slammed both hands on Sarutobi's desk. "It's not possible because there are no bodies," Hiruzen said. Upon sensing his former student's confusion, he continued. "When Minato sealed the Kyuubi inside Naruto, well, I don't know exactly what happened, but whatever he did erased both his and Kushina's body from existence. When we could arrive, all that was left was little Naruto, crying his little eyes out. Where's Naruto now? Is he okay? Jiraiya asked worriedly. Naruto is fine. He's possibly one of the few people who came out of this unscratched, Hiruzen said. I don't know if I would call having a demon sealed inside him unscratched, sensei, Jiraiya pointed out. True. Excuse my lack of tact. And to the answer of your question, he's downstairs on the lower floor. A couple of medical ninjas are taking care of him now. Naruto was the reason I called you here. Because I'm his godfather? Exactly. According to Minato and Kushina's will, they left everything to Naruto. All their physical assets, such as their house and their properties, as well as their liquid asset, which will be managed by his legal guardian until he becomes of age. And according to their will, this person is you. I see. An uncomfortable silence followed Jiraiya's laconic answer. So, do I suppose that you're up to becoming Naruto's legal guardian and raise him until he's 18? Regardless of Minato's will, we can assign another legal guardian if you refuse. Jiraiya found the offer tempting. He had decided a long time ago that he would never settle down, that he would throw himself to the pleasures of life, to wander the world and enjoy it as much as possible. Taking care of a baby would make such thing impossible. He'd need to stay at a permanent place, more than likely Konoha, since neither sensei or the elders would allow the Kaibi out of the village for other nations to take it, and had to prioritize Naruto's needs and well-beings over everything else. No, the perspective of becoming a single father was everything but alluring. But then again, if he didn't take care of Naruto, who will? Almost nobody in the village would want to be near Naruto after the Kaibi's rampage out of fear, and he knew that the other people would try to turn him into weapons, depriving him from a normal childhood. No, he had a moral responsibility towards Naruto. Nobody else would want to take care of Naruto and raise him like a normal child but him. Jiraiya soon would learn how wrong he was. He was about to give his sensei an answer when shouts from outside the office drew both men's attention. Miss, I'm sorry, but Hokage-sama is in a meeting. You can't disturb him now, a male voice said, which Jiraiya vaguely recognized as the Anbu he has been talking to. Do you know who I am? I'm sure that sensei will make time for one of his old students, a female voice said angrily, a voice Jiraiya knew too well. Oh my, I didn't expect her to come here so soon, or to come at all, Sarutobi said, visibly worried. What is she doing here? Jiraiya asked, equally worried. You see, Hokage-sama's guest is also one of his old students and... What? Get out of my way! Boom! Jiraiya and Sarutobi winced and they both hoped that the poor Anbu wasn't too hurt. The office's door slammed open and a big, acetted blonde burst in. She fixed her eyes on Jiraiya and snarled. She then looked at Sarutobi with rage in her eyes. Oh, Okami, I knew it! You're going to do it! Tsunade harming my Anbu and breaking into my office like that is not an appropriate thing to do, Hiruzen said calmly. Oh, can it, sensei? I'm here to stop you from making a huge mistake, Tsunade said angrily. And that mistake would be leaving a child under the care of this maniac, Tsunade said, pointing at Jiraiya. I'm fine, Tsunade, Jaime. Thanks for asking, the Toad Sage said in a deadpan tone, earning another glare from his former teammate. I see. I suppose that you have a better candidate in mind, Sarutobi asked, intrigued. You're damn right. I myself would make a much better caretaker than this smut rider. That's fine, but you don't have any legal base for claiming Naruto's guardianship. I'm his godfather, and Minato left Naruto under my care. Should something happen to him and Kushina, Jiraiya retorted. Yes, I have. Naruto's my family. Yeah, sure. I'm the grandnephew of the Sage of Six Path. It's true, you moron. Kushina was an Uzumaki, just like Mito, my grandmother. I'm Naruto's only family, and thus I have greater claim to his guardianship. While I admit I am no expert when it comes to parenthood, I'm pretty sure that taking care of a baby costs money. Lots and lots of money. And last time I checked, you were hounded by quite a few creditors. I'm aware that Minato had quite some money in his bank account. I can use that to cover Naruto's expenses. Yeah, if you don't blow it up on a casino again, Jiraiya angrily said, and turned to his former master. Sensei, you can't seriously leave Naruto under this explosive gambler. I do have experience raising children. I've been raising Shizune since she was a little girl, and she turned out fine, Tsunade said before Sarutobi could answer. Even with my flaws, there's no way I can be worse than Jiraiya. Alright, I heard enough, Hiruzen said, raising his voice and slamming his hand on the desk to make his former students to shut up. Both of you guys have good points, and I'm sure we can reach a compromise. What kind of compromise? Asked Tsunade. Shared custody? Not exactly. It's obvious that you want what's best for Naruto, so why don't you raise them together? You can cover each other's weaknesses, and I'm sure that Naruto will benefit better if he has both of you taking care of him instead of just one of you. But that means that we'll have to live together, Jiraiya said. He didn't like where this was going. Yes, of course. But we're not a couple. What the hell are we supposed to do? Pretend that we're a happy marriage for Naruto's sake? Tsunade protested. You don't have to pretend anything. If it put your mind at ease, think of each other as being roommates with a couple common interests, or teammates fulfilling a long-term mission, Hiruzen said, hoping his solution would appease both Sannin. I don't know if this little meeting didn't make it obvious enough, but Tsunade, Jaime, and I aren't exactly on friendly terms, Jiraiya mentioned. Yeah, I saw, but there was a time in which you take a kunai to the gut for each other. I have faith you will mend your relationship, at least for Naruto's sake, Sarutobi said. It's not that easy, Sensei, Tsunade said. Hiruzen sighed heavily. I never said it was easy. Listen, I've been aware of the lives you've been living after you left Konoha, and frankly, you had me worried. From what I could see, all what you did is try to run away from your personal demons, indulging in superficial pleasures for shallow comfort. But I can tell that neither of you have been happy, regardless of how much you might try to deny it. Well, we all have lost somebody dear to us. I myself lost my beloved wife and my old friends to the Kaibi a few days ago. Yet here I am, taking the mantle of the Hokage once again. I'm not saying that we're all the same or that you shouldn't deal with grief, but how long has it been since both of you left? 6 years? Maybe more. I think it's about time you two start to move on. You can think of this as an opportunity, a new, fresh start, a chance to do something great. Don't you think it's about time to stop wandering around the world, aimlessly wasting your lives in vain pleasure, and start doing something productive with your lives again? Both of you want to take care of Naruto. If that's the case, show me that you're worth him. Show me that you're able to not let your demons get in the way of rekindling your friendship. Show me that the great and powerful Sannin, the ninja I helped to shape, are still there, instead of the gambler and the pervert before me. A deafening silence followed Sarutobi's speech. Both Sannin wanted to reply, but they just were unable to. They couldn't find the right words, any words. They glanced at each other, hoping the other would have a clear reply that would get them out of admitting that their sensei was right. But there was none. Jiraiya sighed in defeat. There was no way out of here. Okay, I'm willing to raise Naruto together. What do you say, Hime? Tsunade had calmed down a bit and looked just as pensive as Jiraiya. Alright, if this is what I have to do so I can be with my only family. But don't you dare get any ideas. Understood? Tsunade said, pointing an accusatory finger at him. I have no idea what I was trying to say before. Jiraiya raised his hands in defense. Hey, I didn't say anything. And you'll see that I can be a perfect gentleman. You better be. Then it's settled, Sarutobi said, visibly satisfied as he stood up from his desk. Now, would you like to see Naruto? They didn't need to answer. Sarutobi guided his two former students to a room in the lower floor, in which a teen girl was being instructed by one of the medic ninjas how to hold baby Naruto. At the girl's feet, there was a small pig wearing a maroon jacket and a pearl necklace. I see that you're getting to know Naruto, Shizune, Tsunade said when she saw her apprentice. Oh, Tsunade-sama, Did you get Naruto's custody? Shizune said, smiling at her. Yeah, more or less, Tsunade replied. More or less? What does that mean? I got joint custody with Jiraiya over here, Tsunade said as he motioned to follow her. Well, we'll be living together from now on. Oh, you're Jiraiya-sama, the teen asked. I'm so glad to meet you. Tsunade-sama told me a lot about you. Shizune? Tsunade shouted. Really? That's nice to hear. And exactly what did she say about me? Jiraiya asked with a perverted grin. Wipe that grin off your perverted face. The first thing that we're going to do once we settle in is to establish a series of rules to make sure we have a tolerable coexistence. You got that? Of course, Hime. You know I would hate to do something to get on your bad side. That's good to hear. So, shall we move to Minato's old house already? Actually, I don't think that's a good idea, Hiruzen intervened. Come again? You see, Minato had a lot of enemies that would love to get revenge on him through his son, so I believe that we should keep Naruto's existence, as well as his parentage and his condition as Jinchuriki, a secret outside Konoha walls. That's why I think we should sell all of Minato and Kushina's property, and use that money to buy a new house for the four of you to live in. Also, I think that we should give Naruto his mother's last name instead. But Sensei, Naruto has the right to know who his parents are. Would make a disservice to Minato and Kushina's memory, Jiraiya calmly protested. I guess you have a point there, Jiraiya. Alright, for the time being, you can tell Naruto that his parents were powerful ninjas who died the night that the Kyuubi attacked, but keep their names a secret from the time being. Same goes with the Kyuubi. Sorry, Sensei, but I have to disagree there as well. You simply can't keep such a thing a secret from him, especially since the rest of the village knows about it already. Jiraiya protested once again. It's for his own protection. How being ignorant to the incredible dangerous being inside him is going to protect him exactly? Jiraiya didn't bother to hide his skepticism. Listen, I want Naruto to have a normal life. That's what his parents would have wanted. Naruto carries a heavy burden on his shoulders, but he shouldn't be aware of it yet. That's why I'm going to enact a law in order to forbid the Kyuubi from being even mentioned by either ninja or civilian, under penalty of immediate execution. Let me tell you why that's a monumental stupid idea, Jiraiya replied. Sarutobi couldn't help but feel outraged at Jiraiya's bluntness. Your solution amounts to ignore the Kyuubi. We can ignore it, but that won't make the Kyuubi disappear, and everybody else knows that. Forbidding people to talk about the Kyuubi might protect Naruto to some extent, but it won't make people forget that the Kyuubi is still inside them, nor stop them from seeing Naruto as a bomb, ready to go off at any moment. Even if that's true, how can Naruto have a normal life then? Let's face the facts. Such thing is impossible. Naruto won't have a normal life, Tsunade interceded. Both Jiraiya and Sarutobi turned at her in surprise. Not that that's a bad thing though. Normal doesn't have to mean happy. Jiraiya and I will ensure that Naruto's childhood is as fulfilling as possible. Thanks for backing up, Hime, Jiraiya said, smiling at her. I'm just telling the truth. But if his generation grows up knowing that Naruto carries the demon fox, it might alter their perception of him and will judge him unfairly. It will be nearly impossible for him to make friends, Sarutobi interjected once again. Tell me, Sensei, do you think anybody will let their children near Naruto knowing what he holds inside? At the very least, with all the facts, the children will be able to judge Naruto by themselves. If they are unable to differentiate between the prisoner and his jailer, then they aren't worth his time, Jiraiya said. You seem very sure of yourself, Jiraiya. Are you sure this won't fire back? I would be lying if I said I was 100% sure, but I do believe that this is the best option. Let's have faith that the new generation would accept Naruto and won't judge him unfairly. You always drilled into our heads the importance of protecting the next generation. If we protect them, then we can place some trust in them, right? Sarutobi spent a few moments silent, pondering Jiraiya's words. A smile slowly crept to his wrinkled face, and soon the old ninja was laughing, much to his students' amusement. To think that I just had one of my teachings used against me. Yeah, I guess that you proved your point, Jiraiya. There will be no special laws regarding Naruto. You two will be tasked with his protection and well-being, and will have faith that Naruto will be accepted among his peers, regardless of his burden, Sarutobi said. There's one more thing I would like to talk about. Even if I can guess your answer, is there a chance that you may rejoin Konoha's ninja ranks again? Besides getting back of the most powerful ninja Konoha ever produced, Hiruzen was hoping that the return of the Sannin would help boost the incredibly low morale of the Konoha citizens. Sorry, but no. I came back here to take care of my only blood family left, not to be a killer and relive painful memories, Tsunade firmly stated. I'm with her. I left the ninja life behind. I'm a writer now. We will get involved with Naruto's training once he's old enough. He was about to add, should Naruto choose to become a ninja, but for somebody like Naruto, that wasn't a choice. He'd have to be a ninja for his own sake. Both Sannin hoped they could convince him to take that path. But think in all the good you could do. Konoha's in its darkest hour. I ask you to reconsider, Sarutobi said, almost begging. He knew that if he passed this opportunity, he never had the chance to convince them to go back to being a ninja again. Here's my counter proposal. I'll take a job at the Konoha hospital. I'm willing to even train future medic nins, but I'm never going back to a battlefield, Tsunade said. Hiruzen seemed to agree with their terms. He then turned to Jiraiya. Now that Tsunade made a concession, he'll have to do one as well. If there's a mission that absolutely nobody else can do, you can call me, was the Toad Sage's offer. Also, my spine network is at your service. Good to see that I can count on both of you, even if it's on such terms. Even if it was tragic circumstances that made you return, I'm glad to have you two back in Konoha, Sarutobi said in a heartfelt manner. Then it's all settled. When do we move in? Tsunade asked, impatient. 3 weeks later. Neither Jiraiya nor Tsunade had much luggage, due to both of them being wanderers, and hoped that they could move to a house to begin their new life. However, it took Naruto's new family some time before they could be settled in. With Minato's money, they bought and remodeled a 2-story house with a yard that had been damaged during the Kaibi attack. It needed a lot of work before they could live in it, such as giving the front a paint job, replace broken glass, fix the plumbing and the electricity, and move out the previous occupants' possessions, who had sadly died during the Kaibi attack, and were given to their closest relatives. While they worked on the house, they were forced to live on an improvised shelter for other people who also lost their homes to the Kaibi. Still, after weeks of hard work, they were ready to move in. Jiraiya had called dibs on setting up Naruto's bedroom. Despite Tsunade's very loud protest, in the end, she had relented and allowed the Toad Sage to have his way. The fact that he locked the door and didn't allow anybody to enter until he was done was enough to raise an alarm on the blonde's head. As Jiraiya was getting ready to show Tsunade and Shizune Naruto's room, Tsunade couldn't help but have a feeling of overwhelming regret. Alright, here it is, Jiraiya said as he opened the door. Tsunade braced herself to the worst. What do you think? Tsunade had to admit that it wasn't as bad as she expected. The originally white walls were decorated with murals of beautiful forests and mountains with smiling toads on them. There was a toad-shaped crib on a corner with a few stuffed toads on it, a desk and an empty wardrobe with toads carved on its door. While I find the amount of toads excessive, at the very least you had enough taste not to put any posters of half-naked girls, Tsunade said in approval. Oh, those will come when he gets older, Jiraiya said, and he was suddenly hit by a wave of killing intent coming from Tsunade and her ward. Of course not. I know I can be a pervert, but I know that there are some things not too appropriate for children. Good to hear. They had to spend the rest of the day buying food, clothes, especially for Naruto, diapers and other baby items. By the time they were finished, it was night time, and the three of them were exhausted. Tsunade placed Naruto on his crib and went to sleep, alongside Jiraiya and Shizune. While it took no time for Tsunade and Shizune to fall asleep, Jiraiya remained awake. His head asked the same question time after time. Would have been any different if I was in the village when the Kaibi attacked? Based on the details Sarutobi had been willing to share of the tragic night, Jiraiya's mind went over and over with the possible scenarios of how the night could have ended if he was there. He spent an hour tutoring himself by wondering if he could have been able to save at least one of Naruto's parents. Stop doing that, Jiraiya. You couldn't know something like that would happen. The only thing you could do now is take care of Naruto to the best of your ability, the Sannin told himself. He then got up and quickly went to Naruto's bedroom, making sure he didn't make any noise that could awake the other 3 people living under the roof. Jiraiya leaned on the crib and looked at the infant lying there. "Hey there, little guy. How are you doing?" Jiraiya said in a whisper. Naruto shifted in his sleeping seat. "Don't worry. I know that you need to get through a lot, but the nightmares is already over. Tsunade, Jaime, and I are here to take care of you, and we will make sure that everything will be fine." Jiraiya continued to look at the sleeping baby. "Can I tell you a secret? Don't tell Tsunade or Shizune, because they would get really mad if they knew. But I have plans for you. Great plans. Once I'm done with you, you'll be the biggest pervert in Konoha ever. I'll teach you everything I know, so no girl will be able to resist your charms. You will be a legend, only second to yours truly. Oh yeah, and you'll be a great ninja too. I guess that's important as well." And that's where I'm gonna end it. I hope you've enjoyed. Depending on how well this does, this will be one of the main series I do daily. So smash that like button, comment, Q, or any other comments you may have, and roll the outro. Follow me on Instagram, the link will be in the description. When I hit 300 followers, I'll upload 1 hour what if of this and all my other main series. Roll the outro.
Wanted a bitch who was on the move, but you on it goddamn late. Got that one in my bed and she just wanna sleep. Fucking up all of the sheets. She only wake up to eat. Do this shit every week. Like why you do that? Crying you wanna be great, but sleeping until the next day. Why you do that? Don't got that much in the bank. We go out, she order this plate. Why you do that?